Nope, we're live on YouTube, but nowhere else yet.
We're live on YouTube?
Uh-huh.
Hi, YouTube. Welcome back to the studio. We'll be live on the other two platforms in just a minute for painting.
Yep, you're live on
Live on it.
We're good.
Welcome back to the studio, everybody. I'm David Austin with davidaustingallery.com, and my lovely wife, Kristen, is running the three cameras today. Our new cameras and lighting and sound lights aren't in yet, but they got ordered this week. We finally got them coming. We're so excited. It's going to step up the game. It's going to give you a much better view, better sound, everything across the board. So it's going to be a lot. It's so exciting. She has to learn all the stuff. I don't have to learn any of it. So I got this painting I'm going to do some repainting on, but I'm also going to work with some Ecoline watercolor, liquid watercolors. This is from Royal Talens, which is one of my favorite suppliers. And I also have a little bit of the acrylic paint from them, and then heavy gesso I'm going to use today to kind of redo this piece that I had. I've already put some of the pink down, this hot fluorescent pink, neon pink. And I'm really excited to just kind of redo this. And if you have questions while we're going, just let me know. This is a gesso originally here that I just drew into. But you get past a certain point, you learn something new, right? And eventually that comes into your new work. So sometimes these old pieces of mine get to be redone. I did some gardening this morning.
Yes, you did.
I got one of the little raised beds done today. That was kind of fun.
Sweet. Hi, welcome, Steph.
Completely dirty afterwards. I showered.
Another question is, how do we keep the squirrels out of my tomatoes?
Squirrels and rabbits and deer. Our neighbors over there with the big garden say they have a lot of problem with the deer right now. So there's a lot of texture on here, and I'll just work with that as we kind of repaint, add new color, do some exploring, and maybe something can come out of this that's a little better than it is. I'm not real happy with this piece. I've never been happy with it, but there's been something about it that I liked. I'm not exactly sure what it is anymore. So I'm just going to go ahead and redo it completely. And just adding odd paint helps, Kristen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it was. Not enough color, or the figures were a little too derivative, maybe too. That could be. Look at how that bright and shiny colors in there. It's a busy week. This week was busy. We finished the sculptural fountain for a medical center this week.
Yeah.
That was fun. Boulders, 3 big boulders, core drilled. I'm making water noises now for the medical center. It was fun, but it was hot this week. For us anyway.
Yeah.
This next week I'm installing a sculpture. A stacked rock sculpture. And then after that I get to play a little more until the next show. When is our next show?
The 19th of August.
Well, we have the one we're doing, but then we have the Southampton show, right? In August?
Yeah. That's
coming up. They're repping us in that one. ARDT, thank you. What? Amazing people.
Amazing artists.
Amazing artists. So that's exciting because I've never been in that high level of show before.
Persistent and consistency. Yeah.
So much.
Consistent persistency.
Yes. So much persistence.
Art sharp.
Always moving. Trademark pending. Well, ARDT was one of the first galleries to kind of recognize what you and I were doing as a couple.
Yeah.
That it was a partnership that we were doing. And I always appreciated that a lot. Because they could see it. They saw what we were trying to do, you know. That creating art, yeah, it can be a solo experience, but you really need the help of your companions, family support, you know. Those things are important, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, I've maneuvered that around enough.
So that's Amsterdam acrylics.
Yes.
And what color is that specifically?
That's that reflex, they call it reflex pink or rose.
Welcome to some of our regulars this morning. Nice to see you guys every week. Sorry we were a little late. It's so muggy here. I moved the space of a sloth.
Well, she could also clean the house.
I also couldn't house.
On top of that, we did the garden this morning. It was cooler morning. The sun wasn't blazing down, so it was like, okay, let's get the outdoor stuff done now. We've got a window of opportunity. This is that heavy gesso, so I'm going to work this into this spot here and cover the spot that always kind of bothered me. Because it did. Bless you.
All that dirt.
Not that we're dirty people, we just happen to have a 4-year-old. So I'm going to use the watercolors in the gesso.
Use those liquid watercolors in their acrylics yet? I'm gonna say.
Oh, asking.
Our viewers.
I thought you were talking to me.
Yeah.
So much texture.
It's like a 10-year-old, 12-year-old painting, isn't it?
It's an old one. Yeah, for sure.
You were still using house paint, or I think that's that blue.
Yeah, I had a lot of house paint left. And I did use a lot of it. Okay, so now I'm going to try and take some of that weird texture out and add some texture that I want. Although the lines could be interesting, I guess. Maybe I'll leave some of that. So, grab. So this is the liquid watercolor from Royal Talens, Ecoline, and I've got some orange and greens and all kinds of different colors here. And I just love the effects you can get if you're working this stuff into wet paint, so into wet acrylics. And I don't think we've really shown a lot about this.
No, we really haven't.
So let's just play with this a little bit. I'll show you
When we get closer.
what we're gonna do here. I'm just gonna squirt some of it on there right now. A little goes a long way, but I'll tell you what, I am a maximalist.
He gave me the stink eye the first time I said that.
Yeah, it was a well-deserved stink eye. Oh. And I'm just gonna put some gray in here, a little bit of gray. Already it's looking pretty interesting. Squirting it on there, and then we're going to get our handy sprayer out with the water in it.
Oh, thanks, Nico. Yeah, he just loves color.
You know, I was afraid of color
For
in
real.
the very beginning.
Yeah.
Very much afraid of the color. But I got over it. I was going to do something outdoors, but I wasn't. The kiddo and the sitters were way too.
Well, and there's a threat of rain.
And there's a pretty big, but it was overcast, so we could have worked in the outdoor studio, but it was really nice. Okay, handy sprayer, here we go. Assuming this one works.
And you can see all the paint bloom.
Blooming paint. So I'm just soaking it down with water, and that's helping to spread the colors out. Look at that, it's pretty cool already. Just soaking it right down. Giving it a good shower. Now we can add a little bit more. I'm gonna add some yellow in this time. I'm just gonna pour it right on there this time. Bordering it. When you work large, you do go through a lot of material, but I'm sure you've noticed, Kristen, that I've thinned out a lot of my paints because oh my God, this is so expensive. I love working with big, thick impasto acrylics, but they're so expensive.
Yes.
When working at that scale. So that was the heavy body acrylic right there that kind of obliterated that surface. Now what I think I'm going to do is get some white paint, a simple flat white house paint. If any of this works. Oh my God, it's all stuck together. Oh yeah, look at that. Anybody see that mess?
Oh yeah.
That's a paint peeler right there. Now what I can do, and I have done, and I will come back and do this another time, is use the paint. Many other people are doing that too, and using that stuff to create something new, which I think is a pretty cool idea, really.
Well, just liquid plastic till it's dry plastic.
Yeah. Somebody was criticizing us about the use of the plastics today, and of course, they're using all the chemicals. They're a virtual painter, so VR uses computers, and computers are probably one of the worst for the environment of all things you could use. Plus Sharpie pens.
Yeah, it was very confusing.
Very confused person right there. So anyway, but it is something I think about, is that I'm very cognizant of this issue, environmental concerns as an artist. You really shouldn't be throwing acrylic paint down the drain, for example, because it does put in microplastics into the water system. So I try to use all of mine, at least then it's, in a encapsulated form.
There are artists too who have created strainers.
Yeah.
And then they strain the plastics out of their brushes.
Yep.
So it doesn't go into the system at all.
That's Lori Marabelli does
Yeah.
that. She captures all of those things.
And if you ever wash your brushes, I might do the same thing, but
Yeah. Yeah, I don't wash them very often, that's for sure. Yeah, I'll use them. There's a whole pail of them back here right now. So what I'm doing is playing with the texture using the roller. It's just simple, again, flat white paint. And we're gonna come back in and kind of play with that a little bit. Just a minute. Look what's happening over here with this, how it's spreading. Very fascinating. And that'll keep kind of migrating in there as well. All right, so I think I'm going to use the black. I'm going to do the black up in there and maybe something else up there. I'm not sure yet. Maybe we're playing around a little bit. Can they see if I go around this side? Yeah. This is the Amsterdam. This is blue from them, and I can't read it because everything I have is paint covered. Fortunately, it's color coded. I'm running out of paint, but I'm having to do it a little bit thicker because I'm covering such a massive surface too. Now, if I brushed it on, that'd be a different story. Then I'd have to wash the brush. Now, some of the water has migrated over to this side of the board, so that will affect what happens here. See that? Definitely affecting. But I kind of like the effect it's giving me. Yeah. Cool. Now I can even scrape a little bit through and highlight some of that existing texture that's in there. So kind of a removal process. I like that. I like that. Look, an 80s reference already. 90s reference for the. There's always got to be at least one reference with you know, some random television show. That's actually an SNL thing. SNL. Saturday Night Live. So using some of my blocking techniques that I've used in the past, just simple block of color, and then work around that or break the different shapes of those too. So I can do a little bit more. And again, scraping down through there a little bit. Let's try this. So let's just try and bring that right through the hot pink. Oh, that's kind of fun.
I was trying to figure out where the two huge paintings disappeared to, and I realized that they're your surface here.
Oh yeah, I flipped them over because I had no way of. I had no new boards to put down, so I just flipped one over. The big 8-footer. So I have all week. I've had 2 8-foot paintings I've been working on, and the one has been on the table for months, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Quite a while.
I'm playing with the existing surface, highlighting areas. So even if the painting is terrible, there's something about it you wanted to study or look at. So do that. Leave it up on your, leave it in the storage for a while, and then come back to it later and see, what have you got to teach me? And this, I pulled out about half a dozen pretty good sized pieces just because of that reason, that I needed to find out what was it about it that was bugging me. And you know what, on this one I still don't know exactly, other than I think I was in a really dark space at that time.
That could be it.
And I think that's reflective of it, and I didn't want to continue to do that darkness anymore. Some quick gestures.
What did your card say this morning?
I don't know. What does it say this morning?
Maybe we'll find out. Here it is. Is this the new one up top here?
Yeah.
What wouldn't you do?
Oh yeah, that's what it was. What wouldn't you do? This is one of my favorite brushes from Princeton. It's almost a calligraphy oriented brush. It's really just nice. And this is some black gesso, again from Amsterdam acrylics at Royal Talens. Thank you as usual.
Oh, now we're playing calypso music apparently. My canned music is a little bit all over the place.
You're a little all over the place today, aren't you? You know what? Before I do this, I'm going to change the dynamic up here and black out that section. Oh, that's looking delicious.
Ooh, sludgy.
Sludgy. Oh no. The roller doesn't even want to roll. And this is a flat black paint. This is just literally house paint, acrylic latex house paint, and it's flat black. And it's starting to smell. So when you let these water soluble ones sit around a while, they can start to get pretty stinky. And that's when I go crazy and just throw a whole bunch of them on everything.
Yeah, I will say I walked in here this morning and I thought it smells like cat, and then I realized.
Yeah, it's all the water.
Yeah.
And it's not just the water, but whatever chemicals are in the stuff. Okay, blacked out. Now, can take the white. Oh, I have the white there. What do I have? Oh, I have gray right here. This is that gray from the movie. A little bit of gestural stuff going on there.
Again, the music kind of matches the colors you're using.
I'm actually kind of bringing these sections together with the gray. Create some direction, linear direction with them. That was not a good brush stroke. This one's going to be a little bit discolored.
Yes, layered paintings. It's layers and layers and layers.
Yeah. I think this is probably the third repaint on this particular surface, to be honest. Okay, let's play with this now, maybe.
Scorpions. I don't know what that means.
This is a mixture of a few paints. And a foam. Someone asked me if I use these, and I do. As a matter of fact, I do. We're building up the surface. It's kind of fun. I'm enjoying it a little bit.
Yeah. Hey, so is next week when we have a guest on the show?
Oh, I think it is.
Yeah, next
I
weekend.
think it's
Special show next weekend, guys.
yeah. I think there's just somebody coming.
There it is. If I have all the equipment set up by then.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Using the edge, the blade of the piece, create a little bit of texture and lines through everything. Use what you have. Anything goes, really.
Come in.
Enter. If it's a little one. I think it's a little one.
Straight to button anymore.
Okay.
Oh, there's mail.
Got the mail, did you, kiddo?
Thank you so much for the mail. Did your babysitter know where you were? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I'm glad they know where you are.
Are they having their lunch?
No, they aren't.
Oh, okay.
That's our little one.
Actually, we need some cardboard to actually make circle. Because we're building a car and a car has to go. The car has wheels.
Yes, our car does have wheels, and
Now.
wheels are circles, and you need cardboard for that, huh? I think you might have just recycled all.
Really?
Yeah, really.
I needed the cardboard.
Oh, I get it. Scorpions, musicians. Yeah, sorry. You're way ahead of me on references today.
Yeah, good job.
Did I miss any questions?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
I can't see.
I know. Although, the new system, I think I was waiting for me to set up one of the tablets so that you can see what's going on.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, I might not want to know what's going on.
Okay, you want any ideas on where we have any cardboard?
Well, it's, I mean, there might be some right there.
Okay.
In the back corner. I don't know if there's any scraps.
I'm coming.
How big a thing are they looking
I
for?
have no idea what they're doing.
I don't know what they're doing either. You never know in the live show what happens around here. Do the best we can do. Oh, man. Yeah, I love it.
All set with your boxes?
Yep.
All right. Can I get the door for you downstairs?
I just love how much paint you can get loaded up in these Princeton big brushes. They're really thick. They're almost like a Sunier brush, and they're great for almost calligraphy kind of paints, for drip paintings, for just any kind of painting that requires some of that effect. It's just awesome. It's one of my favorite things to do. It's kind of fun what's going on this, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know how much further to take it. If you know me, I'm probably gonna take it too far.
You always do. That's what makes our marriage fun, though.
You could call this rusticating, you could call it drawing, you could call it writing, I don't care.
Gesturing.
Either way, it kind of adds a level of age to the piece. And this is just a charcoal. You know, a piece needs to speak over time. And you can help that along by adding different layers and textures and scraping through and lifting up and so forth. So you can see what I've done. I've scraped some things down and I've pulled some things back out and then layered over the top. And I really love that kind of effect you can get.
Oh, yeah. Look at this box. That's good.
We're all very pleased to hear that. I always like to add a little bit of a something. It's like, why do you add that? And the only reason I do it sometimes is because I want somebody to go, why do you add that?
Oh, Logic Studios is here from TikTok. Really like their work, actually.
Hello.
And I'm going to say what I say every show, which is everybody go check out everybody else's profiles and their artwork. Give everybody some love.
Some loving. Give each other some loving. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Let's see if I can add a little bit of something weird.
We weren't weird already?
No, this is straightforward.
Okay, so we're getting weirder.
Yeah, maybe, if I can make this thing work.
This when the bartender, it's like 2 a.m. and they're like, no, you gotta try this.
No, I'd rather try this. I don't know, because I haven't been to a bar since I was... I don't even remember anymore. At least past that way. Closest was after the rap party after the last movie.
Oh, yeah.
That was the last time I was close. Yeah, it's not rolling at all.
It is so humid, my hair is still wet from last night's shower.
Really?
Yes, really.
It seems awkward. I don't know if I like that or not.
Who else out there is painting with us this morning? Or creating?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be painting, does it?
No, it doesn't.
That's no longer white.
Okay, I'm not on, can't see again. There you go.
Thing is in really rough shape, actually. If I usually would have more canvas laid out, and I could just go in and do something with that, right? Looking for something.
Yes, the art store trip.
someone to go to the art store today?
Yeah, they're gonna finish a painting and go to the art store.
Nice. I like going to the art store. Everybody knows I like going to the art store.
My wallet doesn't like it.
You mean our wall? Scraping through.
I went to school with a Shattuck. I wonder if you guys are related. Oh, you're painting today. It's got Chadberry. Can't pronounce it. It's not Swedish.
It's getting a little aggressive now with it. Ripping right through.
Oh, Jill is making her own pigments, her own watercolors today.
Oh, good. I haven't done. I used to make oil paint. You know, back in the earlier days. That was really aggressive. I don't know if it accounted for anything good.
Just some good noises.
I should like what happened up there. Hopefully it's just going a little bit nuts. So one of the things I can do, afterwards is take the acrylic pens and then really pull out some areas, define it. And a lot of times the initial painting goes really quick. Just the laying down this kind of this big structure and lots of big color. But then we go back in with pencils, colored markers and things to redefine areas. And that's kind of where I might be getting close to as it's settling here. I'm really starting to think about that. Right now I'm looking at color positions and to see if I've got the color that I want where it's supposed to be. Where are you supposed to be, color? Speak. Color needs to speak. Speak to me. I still haven't used this thing that much.
Oh, the wallpaper gluer thingy.
Can't quite decide on it. I'm having a hard time deciding what I want to do. That watercolor looks cool. I wonder if I should add another. So
Days of the week. That is a great handle.
All right, we have some green. This is that watercolor again.
I have a question for you. First time viewer. Your
Long
style
time
speaks,
listener.
yeah,
Oh,
your style
awesome.
speaks to me. Is there such a thing as too much or overdoing it?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like right now, I could be overdoing it. There is, but if you don't ever push that boundary, how are you going to know when it's too much? You've got to. I believe strongly that you've got to actually push really far into a painting to really experience what it needs or doesn't need, or you know what I mean. It's like you always ask, how do you know it's done? That's what they ask, right?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes it's just you keep moving, keep doing something, and hopefully you'll know it's done for you. I don't know if that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna be crazy now.
All right.
Let's see what happens now.
Yes, finding balance is a struggle. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, it's going to be a fun show next Saturday.
Yeah, I think so. I always enjoy when someone new comes in to paint with me. It's truly kind of fun. Well, that did something different. Again, don't know if I like it, but you've got to try the things. You've got to keep pushing yourself and see where it goes. Because otherwise, how are you going to know what you like and don't like? I don't know. I guess we can just all go by whoever's telling us what we're supposed to like.
I don't know.
Come on, you usually have a story. You got something going on? What do you got going on?
I'm sorry, I'm thinking about different kind of tripod heads. Brand of paint and acrylic inks today.
We are working with Amsterdam acrylic and from Royal Talens and Ecoline, or Ecoline, I guess it depends on how you want to say it. The liquid watercolors.
Completely adulterated.
There's the maroon.
There we go. Is that the watercolor? And
I got a mess of paint here. I don't know what to do with, so I'm gonna put it in this little cup. There's a surprise. You come into my painting studio and you get paint on you. That's crazy. I don't know how that would happen.
Thanks for the rose. Really appreciate it.
All right, I'm gonna get one of my favorite. This is from Princeton as well. This is a flat wash brush. This is literally one of my favorite brushes. It's got such a beautiful brush stroke. And this wet on wet, it doesn't really show as well as it should. It's a little shaky. I don't think I've had that much coffee today.
I only had one cup, but I'm okay with it. Well, I'm okay with it now, but we'll see how I feel at 3.
You only had one cup today?
I've only had one cup most of the week, except for that Monday I had 4, which is...
Was that a little too much?
That was a poor choice.
Just a little bit too much. Pushing limits. Isn't that nice though? It's a nice brush. Really like it. I'm not at all sponsored by Princeton, but art and brush company. But I like their brushes.
Thank you for telling me what your name means. I've wondered for months.
Well, so actually, that's
Yeah.
cool. I'm debating about a move right now here. That would be pretty strong. I think I'm going to do it in here instead of the outside. Just letting the brush work for me. There we go. There, I like that. Now we kind of got this these angles working in. You got angles up here coming into this area. The interesting thing is that this area, there's nothing really happening there, but I brought you there. And then I think you're going to come back over here because you got this strong contrasting thing. And then we got these ghostly little remnants of figures there. I think I might keep those in there. I don't know.
Ghost in the background?
Yeah, ghost in the machine. I don't know.
Paint used to jump on Sharon, David's mother, actually.
Yeah. She could not paint without
a giant mess.
Yeah.
She traveled with a drop cloth.
Bless your heart. Miss that nutty girl. So when that dries, I can do some stuff with the charcoal, the pastels that I use from Rembrandt. Again, Rembrandt pastels, love those.
Can I plug the new plein air program?
Yeah, I mean, you came up with it, or I didn't have anything to do with it. That was all you. She comes home from a meeting and suddenly I'm obligated to do a new program. And it wasn't a meeting that had anything to do with the new program. Zero to do with it, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
Yep. Starting August 10th at 10 a.m. at Lake Superior Plaza. In Duluth, Minnesota.
Not Duluth, Georgia. If you show up there, we're not going to do it.
Plein air means outside. It'll be it's the 10th, 17th, 24th, the whole month. You can come paint with us outside.
Probably no mask required.
No, we'll be outside. But if you too have paint jump on you, please bring a drop cloth so they don't damage the brand new sidewalk.
I was thinking of that. Brand new place. I like this piece the way it is right now.
Hi, Blonde Curl. Welcome.
I'm on the fence on doing anything more to it right at the moment.
Yeah, you think you're, well, we're almost at the 45-minute mark, so.
You know what? Recap. So we were working with Amsterdam acrylics today. I love their neon type, fluorescent type color. They call them reflex colors. And then Echo Line watercolors. Work that in there. I do have to treat this painting more like a mixed media. When I finish it, I'm going to have to use the Degas fixative, and then Final Fix from Spectre. Both of those are from a company called Spectre Fix. And we really, so many of the fixatives are in aerosol form, and they have lots of nasty chemicals in them. These are not too bad. Pretty simple things. Fumes without glass or frame without glass. Anyway, a little more natural approach to things. The Final Fix is a little more new. They just came out with that this year, I think. Maybe last year. Might have been last year. So I've got a couple of gallons of theirs coming in. I really like their stuff too. But we get asked how you fix your painting. You know, if you're working mixed media and the charcoals and the pastels and you got watercolor and things like that. And this is how I do it. If you're doing watercolors, you got to be super careful with your layering of the Degas fixative. So you got to do really thin layers, and by all means, use their upper end bottle. This is a really fine mist versus the others, which will splatter your watercolor or your fine work pastels. So that's that thing. Because somebody asked me again on that one this week. That's why I had to bring that up. The show in Southampton's coming up. Thank you, ARDT Gallery, Jim and Candy, Cerebolo. Check them out too. Their work is phenomenal, but I am so honored that I'm going to have at least one big 5-foot painting in their show at the Southampton Art Show. I forget the name of the actual something.
I don't think I have any.
I don't know. Anyway, that's in August. And then we've got Bayfront Art Show in Duluth coming up.
August 19th.
August 19th, that's one. Anything else? Any other announcements?
No, I think that's it.
All right, I'll call this meeting to adjourn. We have a motion to adjourn. Yes.
Have we approved our minutes?
We approved the minutes ago. Thank you so much for joining us on this repaint. Stay tuned. Come back and check our feeds to see the results of what happens when this dries, because some of this watercolor is going to migrate more, and I'll play with this some more with finishing techniques.
Okay.
Maybe we'll do a short live on that or something. Thank you, everybody. It's David Austin with davidaustingallery.com. Go see our clothing line at Get Outdoors at muddypaw.net.
Yep.
And we have some of this stuff on our website, davidaustingallery.com. I'm David Austin. That's Kristen. See you later. Thanks for joining us. Saturday Cartoons. See you. Bye-bye.